Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes in life, the most profound lessons don't come from what people do, but from what they say. Words are powerful. They have the ability to build us up, inspire us, and push us toward greatness. But they also have the power to reveal truths about a person, truths that, if ignored, can lead us down the wrong path. People often show us who they are through their words, even more so than their actions. Words carry weight, and they reveal truths about a person's mindset, intentions, and values. The challenge is that we don't always pay attention. Sometimes we're too invested in our relationships or too caught up in the emotions of the moment to recognize what's being said for what it is, a reflection of who they are. When someone speaks, they're not just talking about you, they're revealing themselves. Their words are a window into how they think, how they perceive the world, and ultimately how they'll treat you. Imagine someone tells you, "You'll never make it on the surface." It might seem like criticism, but dig deeper. And it's often much more than that. It's a reflection of their own fears, doubts, and insecurities. People who have limited beliefs about what's possible for themselves often project those beliefs onto others. It's not because they've evaluated your potential, it's because they're trapped by their own limitations. They don't believe they can succeed, so they can't imagine you succeeding either. This isn't about you, it's about them. But here's the thing, if you allow those words to linger, to settle into your mind, they can start to shape how you see yourself. That's why you have to recognize these statements for what they are: red flags. When someone doubts your abilities or dreams, you don't need to argue or defend yourself. Their words have already told you everything you need to know about their mindset and the role they'll play in your life. Then there are the people who will tell you you're too much, too ambitious, too opinionated, too passionate, too driven, whatever too much means to them. This kind of statement isn't just a critique, it's a plea. It's someone asking you to shrink, to dim your light so they don't feel overshadowed. These people feel uncomfortable with your growth, not because there's anything wrong with you, but because your progress forces them to confront their stagnation. It's easier for them to ask you to pull back than for them to step up. Again, their words aren't about you, they're about them. But if you internalize their message, you might start to question whether you're really too much. You might begin to hold yourself back, not because you believe you should, but because you're trying to make them comfortable. That's not your job. Their comfort isn't your responsibility. Another common statement that reveals so much is, "That's just the way I am." This phrase is often used to justify bad behavior or a refusal to change. It's a declaration that the person isn't interested in growth or accountability. They're telling you in no uncertain terms that they have no intention of working on themselves. People who say this are not interested in the give and take that healthy relationships require. They're more focused on staying comfortable in their habits and patterns than on evolving into better versions of themselves. This mindset will only hold you back. Growth requires effort, self-awareness, and a willingness to change. Surrounding yourself with people who refuse to take accountability will only drain your energy and impede your progress. And let's not forget the ones who say, "You owe me." These words are a clear signal of manipulation. Genuine relationships are based on mutual respect, not on keeping score. When someone constantly reminds you of what they've done for you or tries to use their actions as leverage, they're not giving out of love or generosity. They're giving to control. It's their way of keeping you indebted to them, ensuring that you feel obligated to meet their demands. This kind of relationship isn't healthy, and it certainly isn't sustainable. Gratitude is one thing, but obligation is another. If someone is using their words to make you feel like you owe them something, it's a clear indication that their intentions aren't pure. Words like "you'll never find anyone better" are perhaps the most manipulative of all. They're designed to make you doubt yourself, to make you feel like your worth is tied to their presence in your life. This isn't love, it's fear-mongering. It's an attempt to control you by making you question your value and your ability to find happiness elsewhere. People who truly care about you will never make you feel like you're unworthy or incapable of moving on. They'll support your growth and encourage your independence, not try to tether you to them with fear. Every word a person speaks is a reflection of their inner world. When someone uses their words to criticize, belittle, or manipulate, they're not just talking about you, they're revealing their own limitations, insecurities, and intentions. It's up to you to listen, to pay attention, and to recognize when their words are telling you it's time to walk away. Words that diminish your value or potential are reflections of their insecurities, not your reality. When someone speaks negatively about your dreams or undermines your ambitions, it often has little to do with you and everything to do with them. Their words are a mirror reflecting their fears, doubts, and unresolved issues. People who haven't achieved their goals or don't believe in their own ability to succeed often project those feelings onto others. They might not even realize they're doing it, but their negativity stems from their inability to imagine something greater for themselves. If they can't see it for themselves, how could they possibly see it for you? This is why you must be vigilant about whose words you let shape your mindset. When someone says you're aiming too high or dreaming too big, it's not a reflection of your capabilities. It's a reflection of their limited perspective. They might say, that's impossible or you'll never get there. But what they really mean is, I can't see myself doing that, so I can't see you doing it either. Their words are rooted in fear of failure, fear of stepping outside their comfort zone, and fear of confronting the fact that they've settled for less. But their fears don't belong to you. You are not bound by their limitations or their insecurities. You have the right to dream big and pursue those dreams with everything you've got. It's important to recognize that not everyone who doubts you is trying to hurt you. Sometimes their words come from a place of concern or love. They might think they're protecting you from disappointment or failure. But even well-meaning negativity can be harmful if you let it seep into your mind. The people who truly support you will encourage you to take risks and chase your goals, even if they don't fully understand them. They'll believe in your potential because they know that growth and success require stepping into the unknown. On the other hand, some people will try to tear you down because your ambition makes them uncomfortable. Your drive, your passion, your willingness to take risks, it all highlights what they're not doing in their own lives. It forces them to confront their complacency, and that's a hard pill to swallow. Instead of being inspired by your courage, they choose to criticize and belittle you. They tell you that you're too much or that you should tone it down because they can't handle the reflection of their own insecurities. This is why you must be selective about whose opinions you value. When you encounter people like this, you don't need to argue with them or try to prove them wrong. Their words aren't about you, so there's no point in taking them personally. Instead, let their negativity roll off your back and keep moving forward. Your energy is too valuable to waste on people who can't see your vision. Save it for those who believe in you and support your journey. Negativity often disguises itself as constructive criticism. But there's a difference between someone offering helpful advice and someone projecting their insecurities onto you. Helpful advice comes from a place of love and a desire to see you succeed. It's constructive, actionable, and given with your best interests in mind. On the other hand, projections are rooted in fear and self-doubt. They're meant to hold you back, not lift you up. Recognizing the difference between the two is crucial for protecting your mindset and staying focused on your goals. Sometimes the people who doubt you the most are the ones closest to you. This can be especially painful because you expect support from those who know you best. But their proximity doesn't mean they're immune to their own insecurities. In fact, it can amplify them. They've seen your journey up close, and they might struggle to reconcile the person they've known with the person you're becoming. Change is uncomfortable, not just for you, but for those around you. Your growth can feel like a threat to their sense of stability, especially if they're not growing alongside you. This is why it's so important to surround yourself with people who uplift you. Seek out those who challenge you to be better, who celebrate your wins, and who push you to reach for more. These are the people who see your potential and want to help you realize it. They don't feel threatened by your success because they're secure in their own journey. It's also essential to cultivate a strong sense of self-belief. When you truly believe in yourself, other people's doubts and negativity have less power over you. You become more resilient to criticism and more focused on your goals. Self-belief doesn't mean ignoring feedback or refusing to learn from others. It means knowing your worth and staying committed to your vision, even when others can't see it. Your potential is limitless, but realizing it requires protecting your energy and staying true to your path. Not everyone will understand your journey, and that's okay. Your dreams are yours, not theirs. The opinions of others, especially when rooted in insecurity, don't define your reality. Genuine relationships are built on respect, accountability, and mutual growth, not manipulation or control. At their core, relationships should be spaces where individuals can thrive and become better versions of themselves. They should serve as a foundation for growth, offering support and encouragement during the challenges of life. However, when manipulation or control enters the equation, it undermines the very essence of what makes a relationship meaningful and sustainable. It creates an imbalance where one person exerts undue influence over the other, often at the expense of mutual respect and personal autonomy. Respect is the cornerstone of any healthy relationship. Without it, even the strongest connections will eventually crumble. Respect means valuing the other person's thoughts, feelings, and boundaries. It's about recognizing their individuality and allowing them the freedom to express themselves without fear of judgment or ridicule. When someone respects you, they see your worth and treat you accordingly. They listen to your perspective, even when it differs from their own. They honor your boundaries and understand that those limits are not walls to be broken, but guidelines to be respected. Accountability is another crucial element. It's about taking responsibility for one's actions and being willing to acknowledge mistakes. In healthy relationships, accountability fosters trust because it shows that both individuals are committed to fairness and honesty. When someone wrongs you, accountability means they own up to it, apologize sincerely, and make an effort to do better. It's not about blame or punishment, it's about growth and understanding. On the flip side, accountability also requires you to hold yourself responsible for your actions and words. A relationship thrives when both parties are willing to look inward and make the necessary adjustments to ensure harmony and mutual respect. Ladies and gentlemen, mutual growth is the natural outcome of respect and accountability. In a healthy relationship, both individuals encourage and inspire each other to evolve. This doesn't mean that growth always happens at the same pace or in the same direction, but it does mean that each person feels supported in their journey. They celebrate each other's victories, no matter how big or small, and provide encouragement during setbacks. Growth is not just about achieving personal goals, it's about becoming better for each other. It's about learning to communicate more effectively, deepening emotional connections, and building a future together that reflects both individuals' values and aspirations. Manipulation, however, stands in stark contrast to these principles. Manipulation is a tool used to control or influence someone in a way that serves the manipulator's agenda, often at the expense of the other person's well-being. It's subtle, often disguised as concern or care, but its effects can be devastating. Manipulators use tactics like guilt, fear, or flattery to achieve their goals. They may play the victim to gain sympathy, twist your words to confuse you, or use passive-aggressive behavior to exert control. Over time, this kind of behavior can erode your sense of self and make you question your instincts and decisions. Control goes hand in hand with manipulation. While manipulation is often covert, control can be more overt. It's about dictating the terms of the relationship, deciding what's acceptable and what's not, and ensuring that the other person falls in line. This might manifest as controlling how you spend your time, who you interact with, or even how you think and feel. At its core, control is about power. It's not about love or care, it's about dominance and submission. A controlling person is not interested in your growth or happiness. They're interested in maintaining their sense of superiority and ensuring that their needs are met above all else. When a relationship is rooted in manipulation or control, it stifles growth rather than nurturing it. Instead of feeling free to express yourself, you start walking on eggshells, constantly worrying about how your actions or words will be received. Instead of feeling supported, you feel isolated, as if your world is shrinking rather than expanding. Over time, this dynamic can take a toll on your mental and emotional health, leaving you feeling drained and unfulfilled. Recognizing these dynamics is the first step toward breaking free from them. It requires a willingness to confront the uncomfortable truths about the relationship and acknowledge the harm that's being done. This is not easy, especially if you care deeply about the person or fear the consequences of standing up for yourself. However, it's necessary for your well-being and your growth. A healthy relationship should never require you to sacrifice your sense of self or compromise your values. It's also important to surround yourself with people who embody the principles of respect, accountability, and mutual growth. These are the relationships that will uplift you, challenge you, and help you become the best version of yourself. They will provide a safe space for you to be vulnerable, to take risks, and to pursue your dreams without fear of judgment or ridicule. These relationships will remind you of your worth and encourage you to see the potential within yourself. Choosing to prioritize healthy relationships is not just about cutting out negativity, it's about making room for positivity, growth, and fulfillment. It's about recognizing that you deserve to be treated with respect, to be held accountable in a fair and loving way, and to be supported in your journey of growth. It's about understanding that love should never feel like a battle for control or a game of manipulation. Instead, it should feel like a partnership, where both individuals work together to create something greater than themselves. Words can reveal a great deal about a person's character, intentions, and mindset. Paying attention to what people say is one of the most effective ways to understand who they truly are. Their words can either build bridges or burn them, uplift others, or tear them down. When someone consistently uses language that is dismissive, hurtful, or manipulative, it's a clear indication of how they view relationships and how they value the people in their lives. By focusing on the words people choose to use, you can gain insight into their priorities, emotional intelligence, and respect for others. Sometimes people say things that reveal they do not truly value or respect the connection they have with you. These might not always be overtly offensive or cruel statements. Often they are subtle comments that, when pieced together, paint a picture of their lack of consideration or empathy. For instance, when someone consistently undermines your feelings or dismisses your experiences with phrases like "you're overreacting" or "it's not a big deal," it signals a lack of emotional support. While these words might seem minor in isolation, repeated instances can indicate that they are unwilling or unable to validate your experiences, which is essential in any meaningful relationship. Another revealing aspect of words is how people speak about your goals and aspirations. When someone continually diminishes your ambitions with comments like "that's unrealistic" or "you'll never make it," it shows they are either unable to see your potential or uncomfortable with the idea of you outgrowing the dynamic you currently share. This negativity is often a reflection of their own fears and insecurities, but it can have a lasting impact on your confidence and motivation if you let it. People who truly support you will encourage you to chase your dreams, even if they don't fully understand them. They'll offer constructive advice and genuine encouragement rather than tearing you down. Manipulative language is another red flag to watch for. When people use words to control or guilt you into certain behaviors, they are prioritizing their own needs over your autonomy. For example, statements like "if you cared about me, you would," or "I guess I'm just not that important to you," are designed to make you feel obligated to act in ways that serve them, even at your own expense. This kind of emotional manipulation can be subtle and insidious, leaving you feeling drained and questioning your decisions. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect and understanding, not on guilt or coercion. Words that convey entitlement or lack of gratitude also reveal a great deal about a person's character. When someone takes your efforts or kindness for granted, it often shows in how they speak about what you do for them. Phrases like "you should have done that anyway," or "that's your job," minimize your contributions and disregard the thought and effort you've put into the relationship. Over time, this kind of dismissive language can erode your sense of self-worth and make you feel undervalued. On the other hand, paying attention to how people speak about others can provide valuable insight into their integrity and empathy. If someone frequently engages in gossip or speaks negatively about people behind their backs, it's likely they may do the same to you. This kind of behavior reveals a lack of respect for others and an inability to maintain healthy boundaries. It also suggests that they might not be trustworthy or loyal in the long term. Conversely, people who speak kindly and respectfully about others, even in their absence, demonstrate a sense of fairness and emotional maturity. Some statements are more direct in signaling toxic dynamics. For example, if someone says, "I don't care how you feel," or "You're lucky I even put up with you," it's a blatant indication of disregard and disrespect. While these kinds of comments might seem rare or extreme, they can sometimes be disguised as jokes or said in moments of anger. Regardless of the context, such words have no place in a healthy relationship. They erode trust and create an environment where you feel belittled or unworthy. It's also worth noting how people handle conflict and disagreements through their words. Healthy relationships involve open and honest communication where both parties feel heard and understood. However, if someone resorts to name-calling, shouting, or intentionally hurtful language during an argument, it's a sign of poor emotional regulation and lack of respect. Disagreements are inevitable in any relationship, but how they are handled makes all the difference. Words spoken in anger can leave lasting scars, and a pattern of verbal abuse is a clear indication that the relationship may not be sustainable. Listening to how people talk about themselves can also be revealing. Statements like "that's just how I am," or "take it or leave it," can signal a reluctance to grow or take responsibility for their actions. While self-awareness is important, using it as an excuse to avoid accountability or improvement is a red flag. Healthy relationships require both individuals to be willing to reflect, adapt, and grow. A refusal to do so suggests a lack of commitment to the partnership's overall health and longevity. Ultimately, the words people use are not just about what they say, but how they make you feel. Do their words inspire, uplift, and motivate you, or do they leave you feeling small, undervalued, or uncertain? Trust your instincts when it comes to how someone's language affects your well-being. If their words consistently create negativity or conflict, it might be a sign that the relationship is not serving your best interests. Understanding the power of language and being mindful of the words others choose to use can help you identify relationships that are worth nurturing and those that might be better left behind.